All right, thanks for hopping on. It's good to see all of your faces. I always appreciate those of you that hop on live. I'm excited to share with you tonight about Google Streak. It's so a little background on me. I've been coaching for over 4 years, over 4.5 years. I mean, come January, it'll be 5, which is insane to me. But anyways, I am like such a pen and paper person. I have tried to go digital with like my calendar and stuff, and I just can't do it. I feel like I remember things so much more when I write them down. That's just the kind of person I am. And I've gotten away with using paper and pencil for so long, and I have tried other things. I've tried to use like Excel spreadsheets and things like that to organize, and things just weren't working for me. But I have finally found with Google Streak, just because the way it's set up for you, but how you can basically make it your own, and I'll show you how you can do that. I found that this has like finally clicked and this finally works, because I have gotten to the point where, I'm wanting to help a lot of people and get a lot of people involved, and that requires making a lot more connections and a lot more invites. And I just feel like paper and pencil was not effective for me because of how many connections I was making. And I will say, I told like some of my new coaches that I feel that the sooner you can use this system, the better, because it will just keep track of who you are talking to more effectively. And you will, as you're building that list of people, you won't get people lost in the shuffle, because I think like unintentionally that is like what has been happening with me. So I'm going to share now. I will tell you, I started learning about Google Streak probably like less than a month ago. So almost a month. So I watched a ton of training videos to try to figure out how to best use it for our business, because it's not just for Beachbody. Other people use it. And I found the best way to use it for me as of right now, but I feel like I'm still like tweaking and learning and everything. I'm not like an expert at Google Streak yet. So just want to throw that out there right now. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We'll go over some of our monthly announcements first. So first up, thank you so much for hopping on, and I wanted to share about our October Life Changers. We have Jess Box with Success Club 10 and Amy Zuckett with Success Club 6, and Adrian, Stephanie, Shayna, Jennifer, Brittany, Kristen, and Lola, all with Success Club points in October, which just equates to lives being changed. So I'm very proud of all of you. I love it how present Jess and Amy have been like in my newsfeed and in our team page, and just so supportive and encouraging and showing up. And this reflects what they're doing in their businesses as well, as you can see, being two of our top coaches on our team in the month of October. So way to go, ladies. Very proud of you, and very proud of all of you. I know we are doing things every single day to make a difference in the lives around us. So be proud of that, even if your name is not up on this board. All right, so just a reminder, our dates are always up top in our team page. Next week, for the leaders on our team, we have a call on the 14th. Our coach open house is next week, so keep that in mind for a sharing tool for the coaching opportunity. We have our power hour on November 21st. And then what you really need to plan for is clean week, because I don't know about you, so it falls on the week after Thanksgiving, which is actually really great timing, I think, as far as, there's not like a holiday excuse for people, because, and that's obviously for the United States, because I know not everyone on our team celebrates Thanksgiving in November, but we have Clean Week the week after, so there's no holiday during that week. It's just a week. And I found that I feel that I needed to invite to it sooner than I did last month, because I wanted people to be able to get their Clean Week sampler and have it in time for Clean Week. So I think maybe even starting your invites now, like if you're doing a holiday group and you had people tell you no, maybe in the next few days, give them the opportunity to try out Clean Week to see if they like it and want to get involved in your group in December. Just an idea. But also they're going to get wrapped up in Thanksgiving the week before, and with Clean Week being the following week, the sooner that you invite to it, I think will be the better. All right, so this week we have this month we have November to Remember. They actually extended the registration date till November 8th. It was supposed to be registering up until yesterday, but now it's through tomorrow. So if you need a team, let us know. These are teams of 2, and there is the individual prize with the Team Beachbody hat, and then there's the regional prizes and the school charity prize. Double Time is out. Hopefully you guys have seen that and checked that out, and you earn 3 Success Club points in the month of November for those challenge packs. And this week, in case you didn't know, but I see a lot of you trying it, A Little Obsessed is being live streamed on Beachbody On Demand. So that is just your opportunity to see what 80-Day Obsession is going to be like, which is coming out in January. All right. Okay, on to our topic for tonight. So this is all about using Google Streak, and this is just how I use it for my business. Again, you can do it differently. You don't have to use it at all, but this is just an idea for you to hopefully help you out. I'm all about organization. I find that when I'm more organized, I am much more efficient with my business, and when I'm much more efficient, I use less time with my business. So Google Streak is a CRM or a customer relationship management tool. And I added this in here because, our business is all about relationships and building those relationships. And we have to have a way to manage all those relationships that we are making. All right, so the first steps to creating and beginning with Google Streak are here. So one more thing that I wanted to mention, it's so weird with Zoom. I cannot bring up Google Chrome. Like right now, if I wanted to try to share and show you my Google Streak, I had to take a bunch of screenshots because it wouldn't show up. So that is like very strange to me when I tried to figure out why it won't show on Zoom. Safari will show, but Google Chrome won't. So I still need to figure out why it won't do that. So that's why I'm not actually sharing my screen, but we'll talk more about that later. So you need to have a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, I know a lot of us do, but if you don't have a Gmail account, I suggest you make it, and it's perfect for you to even make a Gmail account specifically for your business if you don't have one. So you have to use Gmail. And so another thing is that you also have to use Google Chrome. So if you don't have Google Chrome, you will have to download Google Chrome. And then once you have Gmail and you're using Google Chrome, you need to install the extension. And that's at www.streak.com. This process, the process of installing the extension takes like 2 minutes. It's super fast and not much involved whatsoever. So those are the first steps that you need to do to begin using Google Streak. All right. The next thing that you're going to be doing is setting up a pipeline. That's what they are referenced to in Google Streak. So a pipeline is a subject header of what you are trying to track. So for example, this is what I'm tracking so far, and I will explain that for you to just start with whatever your main source of, making those connections, whether it, a lot of us use social media. So whether it's Facebook or Instagram, or maybe you do a lot of face-to-face contacts, whatever it might be. whatever you're using the most, start with that first. So I right now am tracking my Facebook contacts, my Instagram contacts, my clients, and I'll show you what I how I determine that they are my clients, and then my coaches. My coaches I'm using the least at the moment. Because I'm trying to, like I said, I've only been using this for like under a month. So I'm figuring it out as I go as well. But this is the basics that I have: 4 different pipelines or subject headers. All right, I'm going to make this bigger. Hold on, I got to lose you guys on the side so I don't block my screen. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is to create your first pipeline, and you're going to create your stages and columns within that pipeline. So your pipeline is going to be, like I said, start with your...
I'm seeing not your screen, I think, that you think you're sharing.
What are you saying?
I see it now, but when you made it bigger, I was seeing like what do we do as coaches? It was like your UK opportunity.
Oh.
One.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm the only one, but
okay, well, I'll keep it small then. Can you guys well, now I like don't even see you guys, any of your faces. Can everyone else see create your first pipeline? Can someone chime in and say yes?
Yeah, it was different,
yeah.
But it works now.
Okay, all right, so I'll keep it small. Okay, so this is so it's going to look small for now, but I can always share this in our team page, share the PDF so you can see it bigger. Anyways, so this is your pipeline. And like I said, the first pipeline that I recommend you doing is the social media that you use the most to build your contact list and to make your connections. For me, it's Facebook. So that's the one I use the most. And this is easier because I can actually use my arrows too. So for me, I titled my pipeline right here, Facebook contacts. And if you look down here, see how you can see on the left-hand side where it says compose, and then you see your inbox. Below all of that, once you add the Google extension, that's when you're going to see pipelines. So you're going to see pipelines, and right next to it, you just see the little plus sign where it says new. You just click on that, and that's how you create your first pipeline. You will be given the opportunity to title it, and that's when I was able to title it Facebook contacts. You can title it like social media leads if you want to, if you wanted to group all of your contacts together and not make them, Facebook or Instagram specific. This is just how I chose to do it. So I called it Facebook contacts. That's the name of my pipeline. That's what I'm tracking. Then where you see the different colors, that is what the different stages are. So this is kind of like how I move them through the different stages. So, and I actually still have 172 in my initial contact. And I will tell you, when I went and did this, I went back. So I started doing this last month, and I did all of the connections that I had made in October so far, and all the connections that I had made in September. And I basically used my lists that I had in my notebook that I was writing down, and Facebook Messenger. I do not recommend going back and doing that and adding all those contacts. I will explain a little bit more, but it was, so you can still see that I have 172 still in my initial contact, because I'm still going back to like figure out what was the last date of my contact and filling in notes and stuff. So I would just start fresh. Maybe start, at the beginning of November, because we're only 1 weekend, but I would just start fresh with your contacts from even from like this day forward. All right, so I have my initial contact that I make with them. Then I move them through these different stages. And these were different ideas that I got through some of the trainings that I watched. But so sometimes I have people that give me no response. We all have those people, right? Those people that ignore us. So if that happens, they go in a no response spot. And now I know that like I have them as a connection, but they are, these people I'm not, going to like try to pull teeth or engage a ton because they have not responded to me. In the blue, I have in what is called forming, and that's when I'm really engaging in conversation with these people. So when they are responding and we're going back and forth, I add them to the forming stage. Once I invite them, I add them to my invite stage. And then wait it out, which I'm not sure how I like this as much, but this was something that another coach used. Wait it out is different from like no response and forming. Wait it out is like they're kind of not really, they're engaging, but not really interested. So they're not completely not responding, but we're not really going back and forth in conversation. So they're under the wait it out. So, really my biggest concern are like people that I'm forming and who I've invited. And of course, these initial contacts, but ideally, like I don't even want to have this number, 172, that number would be smaller. And I would be focusing on the people I'm forming with and who I've sent invites to. And then once, because I have different pipelines, once they become a client, I add them just to this move to clients, and then I add them to my client pipeline. And if you look here, this little plus sign here, this plus sign is how you add the different stages, and that's how you can, decide what stages you want to move them through. And then you can actually change the colors and stuff like that too. There's like a little circle. It's like a little settings circle that you can click on, and you can change your colors and make them fun colors and all color coded however you want. When you are adding a person, so if you're adding a person to the initial contact, you would just click on the initial contact, and then you would click the plus sign here, and that's how you would add the new person to your list. Okay, then you need to decide what kind of columns you want to have. So, the name of your pipeline is right here, Facebook contacts. Then my stages, initial contact, no response, forming, invite sent, wait it out, and move to clients. Then here are the columns. And for here, I have obviously the name, any notes, anything that, things that we talk about, things that I know about the person, learn about them, things we talk about as far as, Beachbody, coaching, whatever we do, whatever we talk about, I can add into the notes section. Days in stage, because that shows you how long that they've been in the stage. And that is something that you need to have there. And then the last contact date. So then that way I know the last time that I talked to them. So, and obviously there are these plus signs, and you can add more columns, you can eliminate columns, whatever you would like, but that is how you add the different columns. All right. So I mentioned that I had my move to clients. So this is the other one that I wanted to show you. This is my clients pipeline. So again, I just created I clicked on that plus sign and made a new pipeline, and I just called it clients. And this is as soon as they are in my Road to Health and Fitness community, which is my free group that is ongoing now, they are considered a client. So these are the stages that I would move through as a client. So first, they are, typically I'm inviting to a free group first, so they would be into my Road to Health and Fitness community first. Then the next progression, although I do invite to a challenge group, like a paid challenge group first, if they are not ready for getting a challenge pack and really diving into a program and Shakeology, then the plan B option would be Clean Week. That's typically what I've been doing. I know Clean Week is still new, but that's what I've been doing so far. Clean Week would be the next progression. Then I have 2 different stages for if they have gotten just Beachbody On Demand or a program, and then if they've gotten a challenge pack. And then I have the ability to write in the notes, so here you can see I have the same kind of columns, name, notes, days and stage, date of last contact. So once they're in my client's pipeline, I can add what they were added for. So like all of these people, like I'm doing a plank challenge right now. So they were just added for my plank challenge. My last free group was the fall clean eating. So if they were added then for the fall clean eating, they would have fall clean eating in my notes. So then that gives me an idea of how long that they've been in that free group as well. And then I have the shared the coaching opportunities. So, and if they were under a challenge pack or bot or program, I will obviously write what challenge group they're in of mine. And then, you know, again, with the vital process, with being a challenger and then sharing the coaching opportunity, I added a stage where I share the coaching opportunity with them. And then you can't see it, it got cut off at the bottom, but here is where they would be moved to coaches. And then I have my coach pipeline. And but I didn't add that to this because really, like, you know, this can be a lot and overwhelming, and you might be looking at this right now thinking like, oh my goodness. But so I don't want you to worry about all of these different pipelines. Ideally, just starting your Facebook contacts pipeline or Instagram, if you use Instagram more, would be perfect. Okay, here really quick, I want to show you, see these little boxes next to the person's name? If you click on those, then that individual person pops up. And this is where you can actually move them through the different stages within the pipeline that they are in. So this person is in, you know, the invite sent stage of my Facebook contacts. You can see the last contact date was November 4th. I invited her to my holiday challenge group. She was interested in learning more, and I sent my video. So I know all of that. And then she's in the invite stage. However, you can see if you click on that box, on that little arrow, there's that drop-down menu. So then you can see where you can add them, or excuse me, move them to the different stage. So my next stage for her after invite sent, if she decided to join me, then I could move her to clients, and then I would move her over into my client pipeline. There's also a way. So this is all free. Everything that I've showed you and we've done is all completely free. There is the first upgraded version allows you to be able to schedule tasks. And that is one thing that I think that I am going to explore, because if you look up here where it says add comment, task, note, or file, there's a little plus sign. And if you would click on that plus sign, it would come up to be able to add a task, and you would be able to set a reminder. So say that she, you know, was not ready this month, but wants to be invited to a challenge group next month. I could make a reminder for me to check in with her at the end of November, the end of this month, to join for December. Or I could set a reminder to invite her to clean week, maybe, if she wasn't ready. But then that task would get scheduled on your Google Calendar, and you would be able to just click on your Google Calendar, and you would know all the people that you need to follow up with. This is also good for people when you are checking in with them after they've purchased a challenge pack. You can check in a week after, make sure that they got all their supplies and everything and they're good to go. 2 weeks after, you could set a reminder to see how things are going with their program in Shakeology. The third week, you could check in with them and see if they were going to continue with Shakeology, invite them to the coaching opportunity, that sort of thing. So I see a lot of value in adding that task reminder, but as of right now, I am not using that because I am still organizing my pipelines. All right, so some of these I talked about as I was going, but my suggestions for you as I am doing this, things that I kind of learned as I was getting organized, was the first one, start with one pipeline. Like if you use Facebook mostly, just start with Facebook and get organized with one before moving to another, because I knew in my mind that this was going to be a very large task for me to take on, just because I've been coaching for so long and I do have a lot of connections and everything, and I don't even have all of my connections and customers and everyone in there. But I think just starting with one pipeline at a time would be best, just so you don't get overwhelmed and you get used to using just one pipeline and get organized with that first before you move on. Also, just to pick the social media platform that you use the most. But I would say, if you equally use Instagram and Facebook, it's kind of a mix of both. You could make a social media contacts pipeline, and you could add a column to say, write where you met them, whether it was Instagram or Facebook, or like if you're using Snapchat or whatever other types of social media, you could technically combine them if you wanted to and not separate them. I mentioned this before. I would start today, or maybe just go back to the beginning of the month. I would not worry about the connections that you've been making for like the past few months, because I learned that was a lot. I made my Instagram pipeline, but I hadn't started adding my contacts to Instagram yet, and I did not go through and add a bunch of my followers and connections from Instagram. I just started fresh today. So any new connections that I made today, that's where I started with Instagram. And I think that is so much easier. And eventually you'll be able to go back and connect with those people and get them added in. But to like add them all at once and figure out when you last talked to them and add those notes and do all that, it's just too much all at once. I added Google Streak to my tracker. So I like slightly tweaked my tracker. And if you decide to use Google Streak, make a point to update it each day, just so you're not like getting backtracked on names, because I have found that some days if I'm like, oh, I'll just do today's and tomorrow's, that just is like a pain too. So just make a point to make sure that you update it each day, add those connections, change your dates, check in with people as needed, follow up with them as needed. And like I said, I added it to my tracker to make sure that I got it done. And then the earlier you start using this system, I think the easier it will be, because, I've been a coach for so long, and I feel like it was a lot to add so many people, and I still haven't I gave up on adding all the people. I'm just starting fresh every day with adding my new connections and customers and clients and everything. So I think the earlier that you use this system, the easier it will be for you and the better that it will be for you. And remember, this is still new to me. I'm still figuring this out, and this is totally optional. This is not something that you have to do. I am just speaking from experience from using paper and pencil for so long. I feel like I got away with it for a while, but if you're really wanting to connect with a lot of people and help a lot of people, this is a really great system to keep them organized. Also, I mentioned that I had watched a lot of videos. I'm going to post, so I wanted to give you an overview of how I'm using it and give you as much information as possible, but I am going to give you one like how-to video. I'm going to post it in our team page where she is actually like going through Google Streak, sharing how she created her pipelines and columns and things. And it's only like an 11-minute video, so it's pretty quick. So now that you have like a general understanding of Google Streak and how I'm using it, and if you decide you want to set it up for yourself, this will be a great video to watch. Any questions? I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you guys. Any questions that you have? Go ahead, Sarah. You just have to unmute yourself. Or I can help you out. There you
go. So can you move your people from like your initial contacts, like Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, straight to clients?
Like if you had them in there?
Yeah. Like, how you showed the first screen and it was like a couple different colors, and then the second screen was once they were moved to.
Right. No, you can't move them through to a different pipeline. You can move them through different stages through one pipeline. But that's where I was like, okay, well, what do I do with them once they become a client of mine? And that's why I moved them to that move to clients. So then I have them there, and then I just add them to my clients pipeline.
So do you have to re-enter all of that information, or does it copy and paste, or what do you?
Well, you could copy and paste it, yeah. But you would have to, you would just have to re-enter their name, which is easy, and just add their last contact date, and then any notes you could easily copy and paste into the notes section. That's easy enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I was like really confused with that, and I was like, how do I make this work once they, like, I was trying to figure out how to move it from pipeline to pipeline, but you can't do this through the stages.
That's a good, okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And again, those stages are like kind of how I, how I set them up, how I, move them through, even through like the client stages with the different groups that I use. You don't even have to use all those stages. Like, you can eliminate stages. You can do what works for you.
Okay.
Any other?
I had a question.
Sure.
So if you get them through to the invite and they tell you no, so they're not interested in even your free group, do you have a way of, can you like regress them a stage, like move them back to just forming or?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good idea, to go back to the forming stage. Yeah, you could move them. You can move them anywhere. It doesn't have to go in order either. Like, you can move them from initial contact to invite. You know what I mean? Just depending on the person, how it, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's different, but ideally it would be like initial contact, forming, invite sent, move to clients.
Right.
Ideally. But yeah, you can move them anywhere.
Okay, awesome.
Within that pipeline, just not to a different pipeline. You don't have to re-enter them. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. If you have any questions, if you think of anything, let me know. I'm happy to help. Like I said, I'm going to obviously share this recording, and then I'm going to share that like 11-minute video, the how-to video that will help you. I know I showed you with my screenshots and stuff, but she walks you through it so you can see how she does that too. So that will be helpful. And yeah, in any of the comments of the videos that I post, if you have any questions, let me know. And if this, like, do what works for you guys. Like, if this is something that you have no interest in whatsoever, like, this makes me like so happy. Like, I feel like this is such a great system, and like the teacher OCD side of me sees like pretty colors and organization, and I'm like, this is awesome. But if you are so not like that and this overwhelms you and stresses you out, then don't do it. That's my advice. Don't do it. Stick to, if you have a system that's working for you right now, then just do that. Use that system. But this is just something that I wanted to share. And I know that, I've talked to other coaches. I've talked to my corporate mentor. I've talked to, I've seen lots of videos, and I'm seeing a lot of coaches organize this way. So,
Michelle, I'm curious, have you been able to use it like on your phone also?
Yeah. No, that's the one thing that you pretty much have to use on your computer.
Okay, but just like you would use Google Docs, you could use it from any computer that you can sign on through Chrome?
Yeah, because it's with your Gmail account. So yeah,
awesome.
Anywhere that you sign on with your Gmail, it's gonna just pop up just like your inbox pops up.
But it has to be through Chrome, correct?
Yes, it does have to be through Chrome, because when I pull up my Gmail through Safari, it does not pop up.
Okay.
Because I was trying that too, to be able to screen share with Safari. So weird. Does anyone know why Zoom doesn't show Google Chrome? Anyone? I don't know why. I'm still going to investigate that more. But okay, anything else before we are off for the night?
No, just thank you for sharing that tool. It looks pretty amazing. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I enjoy sharing anything I can do to help. So, all right. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hopping on, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.